If you are new, let me just give this disclaimer real quick. I am fully aware this is a reality TV show. These ladies have to make a show. They have to add excitement. They have to add drama and possibly sometimes throw each other under the bus, all in the name of the check, okay, that they're getting paid. So I completely understand. I'm not naive. So when I do my review, I do it from the reality TV standpoint where I do understand they have to create drama, but I also do it from the real life standpoint, okay? So when you hear me get passionate or get really serious or detailed about it, don't think that, oh my gosh, it's just a show. You're taking it too seriously. I know. I know. And that's why I do it from two lenses. What's up, my Fina loves? It's Miss Fina D coming to you all from Vienna Entertainment News dance class. All right, so this is what Kenya wrote about it on Twitter. If I was there, and she's basically twirling. Okay, so I was looking at, the post from the dance class in the comments, right? And the comments were so positive and all of that. And then somebody wrote, wow, look at the comment section when Kenya Moore or Nene, they're not in a video. And I'm only going to speak for Kenya. Let me tell you something. The comment section becomes toxic when Kenya is in it, not because she's doing anything wrong sometimes, but because people hate her. At Cynthia Bailey, Kandi, and all of the girls trying to dance, and they can't really dance, and it was funny and everyone laughed, right? And everything was positive. I'm going to use Cynthia Bailey for example. Cynthia Bailey, no one had ever accused Cynthia of her butt not being real, right? So when you have a natural butt, people expect it to shake for it to move, right? But Cynthia does not know how to twerk, so her butt barely moved. But it didn't matter that her butt barely moved. It's the fact that she even attempted. Everyone laughed. Now, had that been Kenya Moore, who butt did not move, there wouldn't have been laughter. It would have been, oh my gosh, here comes Kenya Moore with her thick butt. Her silicone is not even moving. And then here comes the dragon. So for the people who, left those comments, it's not the video. It's not even Kenya Moore sometimes. It's you, you all who hate her so much that turn the comment section into this toxic environment. And then it hit me, and this is what I wrote into my little notes when I was watching the episode. Okay? I wrote that, people were begging for Kenya to come back. Not only her supporters, put her supporters aside, that's a given. But even people who did not support her were saying things like, oh my gosh, we need Kenya back. This is a snooze fest, whatever. And I realized the bullies needed a punching bag, and Kenya Moore is that for them. So them complaining that they missed her and that the show was a snooze fest without her wasn't a compliment. They simply wanted her back to continue the devil's work, okay? That's it. They need something and someone to project their insecurities on. Now that she's back, the woman even walked in the room, and she's in the room and she doesn't say anything, and the comment section is filled with hate. And I'm just like, whoa. So that's that. But that moment was cute. I like that moment. Eva and Portia, not even going to spend that much time on it. No shocker here. I don't know why everyone is like, oh my God, Eva is lying. Come on. We saw her all last season. Okay, Cynthia Bailey, she did the same thing to you, and now you're BFF. Okay, so I don't know why Portia is shocked. I don't know why any of these girls even get shocked anymore. When people betray them, do things, but especially Eva. She flat out lied, because when they play it back, she said exactly what she sat there and said I didn't say. Now I understand sometimes, she will say, if you are going to repeat what I say, you have to say, verbatim, or else I didn't say it. But this one was right on the money, and she flat out lied. Okay, and no shocker there. Of course, Portia expressed herself, she was hurt. I'm not going to pull you aside and have, a little conversation in the corner. We're going to talk about it in front of everybody, because at this point, I don't even see you as a friend anymore. Put on the table. But did you guys see how Cynthia Bailey swooped in and put that cape on and was like, I got this, Eva. I got your back. Portia, now I don't remember what she said, okay? But don't you for a second doubt that this lady don't, like you or your friendship. I mean, she made sure she came through and defended her girl. I was like, ooh, okay, if only she was that way with Kenya. I'm just joking. It's no big deal, man. Kenya knows how to handle herself. She's been on that show for so many years, and it's been all of them against her before, and she survived. So it's just all in good fun. I understand these girls are simply doing their job and all of that. So, it's deep when you look at it, in real life. But when you put the reality TV show into it, it's like, okay, I get it. Make your money. I understand. But yeah, so it was nothing, about that. They talked about it. No apologies happened, but I'm sure Eva on the reunion is going to say probably pregnancy brain, or, Portia, I'm just going to flat out say I'm sorry, because there's no way around it. It was on camera. I said it. And then they're going to move on because, Eva said it over and over again that, they're team Dennis. Dennis is her husband's client, and they're very close. So I'm sure they can work it out, and they will be fine. Now, Eva also went in on Kenya, okay? But I guess the producers were like, okay, we got too much going on. It looks like Kenya and Eva had a side conversation, be it off the show, or they probably felt like it wasn't important to show. But Kenya and Eva are cool and they have an understanding. So we are not going to drag them back into a negative place. And so we're just going to skip over Kenya and what Eva said. And let's just focus on Eva and Portia. Because at this point, Kenya's name is everywhere in all of the episodes. So guys, I hear it. Kenya. Oh my God, Fina. Let me know who else I can talk about, okay? Who else on this show was doing something important for me to talk about and review? Let me know. Everywhere I turn, every episode, every story, Kenya's name is in it. Nene goes on Twitter, she tweets about Kenya. Kenya. Speak on it everywhere. So don't blame me and be like, oh, another video with Kenya in it. When they stop talking about her, then maybe I will have other people to talk about. Okay, now I'm doing this part last because I've already did like 150 videos on this whole engagement mess. Okay, we went from Snake Gate to engagement being ruined gate. Stupid. So I saved it for last. So let's go ahead and get into it, because when I tell you Twitter was dragging Kandi, oh my gosh, yes. So let's go ahead and get into Twitter comments, what I have to say about, different moments, and then we'll go ahead and end it. LOL, Kandi is the most low-key, messy person on any of the franchises. She starts a lot of stuff and then sits back like, and they either don't notice or let her get away with it. That's how Marlo knew Kenya was submissive at home. See? I didn't even catch on that. It was probably Kandi who told her that. Like, there was no way Marlo should have known that. Yeah, that slipped by a lot of people because Marlo didn't say how she knew that. Kenya, the fool for thinking Kandi is the example for married couples. Todd run her. I was thinking it was Cynthia all this time. Now, Cynthia not going to tell Kenya business, but Kandi will. Correction, she sits back like, exactly, yes. I've been catching since the season started. She's being a carrier patient. Yes, she do. She run and tell everything and then say I don't have nothing to do with it. Kandi is so messy, always has been. Kandi wrong for being messy and Eva wrong for lying. Y'all gonna act like Kandi isn't messy on the down low? Kandi is such a messy boots and her storyline is boring. So next. Now when anyone else is messy, it's a big deal. Let's see if Kandi gets put out in the spotlight. I'm not liking Kandi these episodes. She low-key messy. You know, you never told Kenya that you had inside info about the engagement. You're trying to do too much, telling Portia what Eva said. Kandi messy, but she real. She a tricky one. Kandi so messy. Kandi is messy for telling Portia what Eva said. It's not like Kandi defended Portia. Kandi enjoyed Eva going in on Portia. She sat back, stayed quiet, and smirked. Kandi doesn't like Portia and Eva being friends for whatever reason. She has to be. What is Kandi's storyline? Laughing might bleep off. Kandi is messy, but Eva is trifling. Kandi is definitely the messy one this season. Okay, how did I miss how messy Kandi is? Kandi has always been messy. Kandi is the new bone collector. I've been telling y'all. Imagine throwing your so-called friend under the bus for a check and your status on a reality TV show. And then you decide to drag the issue into a moment that could have been avoided, hoping that, oh yes, we're going to have more drama with her name in it, and she's about to get dragged again on this Sunday. And then you get exposed. The tables turn, and now everyone is dragging you for being messy. I want to use me for example. Just because I have a friend, right, and we've been friends for 20 plus years, and that friend been amazing to me, doesn't mean that I'm not going to call my friend out if they disrespected me currently or did too much currently. Okay, just because we have history doesn't erase if you're being messy. Okay, so me calling out Kandi is not me ignoring the fact that Kandi is, she's had some amazing moments where she stood up for Kenya and vice versa. I'm simply just calling her out within this moment. I'm not dismissing what happened in the past. So let's stay focused, because I notice people be listing a long list of Kandi did this and Kenya did this for Kandi and vice versa. Let's just stay focused on what's going on now. I have uploaded 2 very detailed, videos on this whole engagement situation. I'm over it. So if you miss it, you can click the link in the description below. The very first link is going to take you to the recent video I did about this situation I'm about to talk about briefly. And then the second link is going to take you to the very first review I did. But I do have to touch on it just a little bit, okay? I'm skipping over all of the little side conversations and just jumping straight into this, okay? So if you don't watch the show, find it somewhere, get caught up, watch those previous reviews and get caught up. For those of you who watch the show, let's get into it. You're trying to tell me, Cynthia and Kandi, that both of you had Kenya Moore all to yourself, and as her close friends, as I throw my quotations, in the air, because she doesn't have any friend on that show, as a close friend in that moment, you couldn't just say, okay, since we're talking about Mark and putting things on the table, let's talk about what happened at my proposal. That was the perfect moment to talk to your so-called friend away from the group. But you kiki with her, make it look like y'all were cool, and then just to go and run what you're about to say by Eva. Like, who is Eva as it relates to you and Kenya friendship, okay? Then you go in the group setting among everybody and then try to just throw your so-called best friend out there to embarrass her. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's on TV. We all, all of us seen it. So I don't want you to think that this is where I talk about common sense. I don't want you to think, but Vina, why are you acting like it wasn't on camera? I'm just talking strictly on a friendship level, reality TV and all of those things removed. I'm talking about on a friendship level. Yes, everyone was going to watch it anyways, but it's the way how it was handled. You already had Kenya by herself, and that conversation could have happened in that moment. But of course, the producers realized, what else do we have going on? Let's go ahead and drag another issue about Kenya into the other segment of the episode because it is boring right now and we need to throw her name in there some more. I didn't understand that. Now, I did hear some people saying things like, Cynthia looked uncomfortable. She looked like she didn't want to talk about it and all of that. I don't know about that because Cynthia went and basically told Mike Hill, her fiance, we just saw Mike Hill talking to, Cynthia family. We didn't see if Cynthia had a conversation with him or who told him what happened. But of course, they were all at dinner. So I'm sure off camera it came up, or it probably came up on camera and Bravo just chose to cut that part out. But when I was watching, her mom and her sister and all of that, I was like, yeah, I better sit there on mute and let this man, no disrespect, let this man express himself because his fiance did not defend her friend and all of that. Because they have no room to talk. I understand that Cynthia Bailey and Peter Thomas eventually, ended up divorcing. But do you guys remember when Cynthia Bailey's mom and sister hid her marriage license so that she wouldn't marry Peter Thomas on her wedding day? I know it's not the same thing, but that just came to my mind. I was like, oh yes, they did went ahead and they were hiding her marriage license. But anyways, let's get back to another moment that I'm glad that, Cynthia Bailey, verbally said something. Even though she didn't say it at the table with everybody, she verbally said something in the presence of Eva. So let's go ahead and talk about that. For a moment there, she did say to Eva, I don't think Kenya was being malicious. That was awesome in that moment. So Kenya seized that moment and she hopped on Twitter, and this is what she wrote as a response to Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. I would never intentionally ruin anyone's engagement. It wasn't done with any malice. I was excited and didn't think first, but I should have kept my big mouth shut. Thank God it was beautiful. That's all I've been saying over and over again. My only focus was Kenya didn't do it with any malicious intent. That's all I've been saying moving forward. For the people who are saying Kenya don't have any friend on that show and all of that, just know that Kenya is aware. But like I said, she's playing chess, not checkers. She's aware because this is what she responded to. They always trying to make you the bad guy. Kandi definitely overreacted. These girls aren't your real friends. Twirl, shaking my head. Bring Claudia Jordan next season, all right? You need a true ride or die in your corner, okay? Kenya responded, agreed. Talk about going hard in the paint. So Kenya peep game, she's aware what's going on, okay? So now that Kenya is aware that she doesn't have, any friends on the show, Kenya have amazing friends outside of the show. I'm talking about not having friends on the show. And Kandi realized that, oh yes, I am absolutely messy and I'm being dragged on social media this week. Her tone changed. Not only did she, bring up that Kenya did text her back, an important part that she left out of the conversation. She also is not admitting that, but she knows that Kenya wasn't being malicious and all of that. Well, as an amazing friend, that's what you should have done on the episode. Kenya, I'm upset that you said something. You shouldn't have said anything, even if we were having girl talk. However, I know that Cynthia is our girl. You would never do anything to ruin her engagement or her proposal. So, it's all good. Let's move on. Then Kenya would not have received all of the extra hate that was added based on your reaction. Of course, I'm not blaming Kandi for grown women. Yes, so most of these are grown women, guys. Yes, kids be on social media, but most of the time when it comes to Kenya Moore, these are grown women. okay, for grown women attacking Kenya Moore. We can't blame Kandi for that, but I'm just saying her reaction added to the extra hate that Kenya received. So on her speak on it, she was like, oh, Kenya wasn't being malicious and all of that, but she still couldn't help herself, and she still had to throw it back in there that Kenya did indeed ruin Cynthia Bailey engagement or proposal. I'm just like, girl, then why did you even say anything? You know, just let it go. You know, as they're about to put the camera on Kandi for her to say something or for the conversation to continue, Nene walked in and then it ended. But also on Kandi speak on this, she talked about how when Nene came in, she sat down, no one cared. They went right back to talking about the situation they were talking about, and that was it. But you know, the episode was over. But I will say that hopefully the producers realized, okay, listen, it wasn't that big deal. We've dragged this conversation, so let's just cut it right there. So hopefully next week, you know, it pick up with something completely different and they're not dragging this whole nonsense into next week's episode. So that was that. Tanya was trending. Most people felt like her energy is needed. She's just so bubbly and a happy person, all of that. And then you had a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, I can only take her in small doses. She is just too loud for me. She said no and all of that. By the end of the day, she was trending. So yeah, I also posted a video about Nene Leakes, basically, you know, coming for Kenya about having more airtime than her. In that video, I did talk about the whole card being leaked out to the blogs and who Nene is blaming and all of that. So I think I said in that video I was going to say something about it in here briefly. Well, basically, another important information that Cynthia Bailey left out when she was explaining that her card was leaked out to the blogs is that the card went missing for a little bit and then she found it again. She left that important part out when she was having that conversation. You know, the same way how Kandi left the important part out that Kenya texted her. So go to that video and hear what I have to say about the whole card situation. If I already said this, I apologize. I'm remembering things as I go and adding things as I edit. The comment or the tweet about Kandi being the one who's telling Marlo Kenya's business about her marriage. When Kenya came back, you know, that season where she was like, I'm married and all of that, she was very open about being a role as a wife. You know, it was so interesting that even the show did a flashback of Portia's, you know, and her ex-husband and basically saying, oh, you had this to say about Portia being submissive and now you're talking about being submissive and all of that. So that part wasn't a secret that Kenya talked about that. Now, everything else, we are aware that Marlo doesn't know how to throw shade. Her shades normally don't land, and that's why she resorts to insults. But I'm not saying it's impossible. I almost forgot this part, but I did promise that I was going to talk about Portia Williams' comment about Kenya Moore, you know, who will ruin their friend happiness, whatever mess she said. I'm not going to waste my time even addressing what Portia said because it wasn't that deep, as we can see, as I've been saying. And if I was to sit here and list all of the times Portia, you know, ruined people's happiness and all of the things she's done to friends on that show, we will be here for over 2 hours. So most of you have seen the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You've seen Portia ups and downs with her friendships and all of that. So I'm just going to leave that alone and I'm just going to end the video and not even waste my time because I can't even believe I invested over 20 minutes talking about this same topic again. But hopefully we can all move on. And yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, these ladies are doing their job and, you know, I wish all of them the best. And I will definitely be back on here because I'm trying to upload all of these videos and just start 2020 fresh. So I would definitely be back on here later on tonight and tomorrow to get all of the videos that I have not posted out. And so yeah, but happy new year. Have a prosperous new year. Please be safe. Have an amazing time. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted, and I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.